guys? Welcome to another episode of the Loose Cannons podcast, brought to you by Red Cap Plumbing and Air and a proud member of the BucsReport.com family of podcasts. I am your host, Sammer. I'm hanging out with our hopefully not so grumpy Chicken Breast and Stank Bastard. And joining us tonight on Fan Fucking Friday is Trevor Sikkema. Trevor Sikkema. Trevor Sikkema of the DraftNetwork.com. What's up, guys?
Dude, hold up. How did Christian, why is he chicken breast now? I thought he was Poppy Latte. I thought he was like, how did we get chicken breast? What are we doing here?
Listen, Sammer's been holding on to this joke for way too long, and he's literally the only one. So he can keep going if he wants to.
Because he said,
I said my name really fast one time. I said Chris Press.
It's chicken breast.
Oh, that sounds like chicken breast.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
That sounds like chicken breast.
Thank you.
Ah, Jesus.
I'm chicken breast.
Yeah.
Hold on.
And then when he's in a bad mood, we call him spicy chicken breast.
Listen, next time you go up to like the Publix deli area and you're just like you're getting like fresh cuts of meat, just say, yeah, I'll have a Christian Perez, and like see if they just give you chicken breast. Like that'll be the test,
dude, and film it.
Yeah. I'll film it for
Think of
you.
the content.
I'll go with.
It could be your next cup of latte.
It's not going to be anywhere near.
It's just chicken breast in the cup.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, it'd be great.
my God.
I
Listen,
love
hey,
it.
you know what? Speaking of
Trevor's
cups, we have you on the show finally after we discovered that this guy that I thought had such a sophisticated palate and such a
Disgusting.
a high class
size
appreciation
minimum.
for food, guy fucking dips his wings in ranch.
I changed the way I eat barbecue because of you, bro.
Yeah, man.
Three
I thought
size
you were.
minimum.
I looked up to you. Now you're just some guy.
It hurt. Fucking hurt.
You guys are. It's unbelievable that all three of you are Team Blue Cheese. Like it's crazy because I love y'all's podcast. I think you do a phenomenal job. You're very knowledgeable. You're engaging. It's a great pod.
Thank you.
How in the world are we batting 1,000 with 3 bad opinions on what to dip in with your wings? How are we at this point where we are batting 1,000? There's not one of you that will stand up for what's right.
What's
And
right?
say that ranch is actually better.
Blue
than
cheese was
We
the
are,
original.
bro.
Blue cheese was the OG with the wing, bro. You coming in with this ranch nonsense is a guy who has to dip his pizza in ranch because his pizza's fucking crap from the beginning. Come
If
on.
you gotta fly from Tampa to Dallas, you taking the very first plane that the Wright brothers stood up? What do you mean the original?
Absolutely, I will because I know
do
it's
you mean
gonna get there
original?
eventually.
You getting in the Wright brothers plane?
Yep, it's
You're
getting
gonna
there.
crash.
Listen,
You're gonna crash in the Gulf in about
At
50
That was a great
Those
analogy.
You know
That
why?
was a great
You know,
analogy.
listen, Trevor, that was a good analogy, you motherfucker. But listen,
That was pretty good.
I'll tell you, it's hard. It's awful hard to hijack one of those planes. So I feel safer, right,
True.
on the Wright brothers.
I mean, that's very,
Bro,
very wide open.
listen,
I
at the
can't.
Loose
I guess
Cannons
the
watch
What did
party
we,
this last
Sammer, what did we
Sunday.
tell you about talking about hijacking planes, bro? You
You
can't.
can't talk about that, Sammer. What
say
the fuck's
that
wrong with
shit.
you?
I can
We
say
can't.
I can say it 3 times
funny.
before the show gets
It's
flagged.
just not a funny analogy for you, bro. You should just stay away from it.
All I'm
listen,
saying,
for real though. Like at the Loose Cannons watch party, it was great because Sammer said for every fucking Devin White tackle, we're gonna take a shot of blue cheese, and you know what? 15 shots, man.
Yeah, man.
Delicious.
I had such weird
Amazing.
bowel movements the rest of this week. I'm still suffering. But
You said you were short of breath all week, bro. And now I know why.
yeah, I
know
have it.
what?
It's coursing through my veins.
Listen, as much as I do not support blue cheese, I support y'all going to the extreme to say for every Devin White tackle, you're going to do a shot of blue cheese. I have to. I have no choice but to respect it.
So Trevor,
Oh my god.
Yes.
the other part of that question though, and I don't think we got the answer. At least maybe you'll get this one right. Jesus.
Yeah, maybe.
Do you
Are you-
go soaking wet, extra crispy, or do you go chalkboard dry rub?
You can't go soaking wet and extra crispy. It's either
Yeah,
soaking
I'm-
wet.
You can.
Yes, you can.
No.
You ever had
No,
my
you can't.
wings? No. Yeah, you can. You can.
So are you
can.
like, hold on. So are you like, so you're baking, are you marinating the wings in the sauce and then are you baking them crispy and then retossing them again after
no.
you bake them? Like, how are we getting crispy and wet here?
You bake
how are
them
we
and
getting
then you grill them. Sometimes you can bake them again after that.
Bake and grill.
Toss, sauce, boom. Maybe some.
I
feta
usually
cheese on top.
double bake, Trevor. I sauce
Uh-huh.
them, marinate them in my sauce. You know what I'm saying? The buffalo.
Okay.
Then
Okay.
I double bake, and then I bring them out. I sauce, and then I broil.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Gives you
No,
the
that's
nice crunch, a little caramelization.
That's some next level stuff. No, I think
Thank you.
I am more of a sauce guy, but there are plenty of times where I will go to a wing place and I'll just be feeling like, yo, I want a purist, like give me the chicken feel with the dry rub on it. So like there's no either or there for me. I'm a big chicken wing guy. There's not an either or. I'm not hating either way.
You got to choose. You're already on the wrong side of the fence with the sauce, bro. You have to choose. You can't just
He already
out.
said.
He already said. Listen,
He already said it.
Listen.
Yeah,
you
more
are
of
a
a sauce
barbecue
guy.
guy though,
More
and
of a
we are
sauce.
going to send you some of Stank's meat because he's getting there.
Whoa, you're doing what? You're sending me what?
Some
Through the
Sending me
mail, bro.
what?
It's not illegal. I might send you my meat through the mail.
Hey,
bro.
this might be our
It's not illegal. You
what?
can send meat through the mail. It's just
this might be
brisket, bro.
this might be our shortest viewed podcast because we gave everybody all the stuff they want at the very beginning. Like no one's gonna listen after this. That's it. It's like, oh yeah, they asked them the question that we care about. Let's. Peace.
Yeah, you're gonna be like, all right, let's get to the game. People be like, I'm out.
I'm out.
We got blue cheese and we got wet rub. We're out
We
of here.
Oh,
the two things we tune in
That's all they
for.
tune in for. That's it. That's all
Wait, you
they
just
think about.
said, hold up, you just said wet rub. Now where are we going
Wet rub,
here?
what the
First,
fuck?
it was crispy wet. Now it's wet
Can't do
rub.
crispy
I'm
wet.
like,
This podcast has fallen completely off the train tracks, and it's like a minute in. It's just
It's your
ridiculous.
job,
Like it
bro.
was ever on the train tracks.
It's
No,
your job.
I mean,
Rate it in, bro.
this is what we discovered when we used to do the audio side of this podcast. Was the later that we recorded, the weirder the shit came out in the beginning of the show.
yeah.
Like it was
No
just
doubt.
nonsense. Like imagine when we used to do like an hour and a half, Stank and I, before we'd have Christian join us. It was like the weirdest shit. 45 minutes in, it was just like nonsensical. It was some like deep dark web nonsense. It just made no sense. It was just terrible.
Why
and
nobody
people were just like,
listened?
yeah, and people were like,
So,
you know
Trev.
what? What did I tune in for exactly? But
It's
let's,
very weird.
what?
let's bring it
Trev?
back. Let's bring it
Let's
back.
actually talk about, I don't know. What a thought. Football.
No, can't.
Can't do
No,
that.
let's
bro.
let's
Fair
talk
enough.
about. Let's talk about.
He
let's-
wasn't ready for it, folks. He wasn't ready for it. Christian
No.
was like, "Oh,
No, let's
okay.
No, listen, I'm gonna do this now. I want to get this out of the way. Talk to me
Yeah.
about Clyde Edward-Helaire, how awesome he
Yes.
is, and then we're gonna talk
Why are we
about.
still talking about that guy?
Why?
I
He's
want to
not
get
a
it out for you. I want to get it out for Christian. I feel like he's
No,
gonna ask.
I'm good. I'm good. I own
You
him
sure,
in fantasy
man?
league. I'm fine.
I want you to be happy inside, bro.
Is Leonard Fournette the new starter running back on this team, Trevor? Or is Rojo still going to split carries?
are you asking me that as like today? Do you want me to answer that question like as today or like the future of the team?"
Both.
Both.
Okay, I would tell you that right now, Rojo's still the starter. Like, I believe Bruce Arians when he said, hey, it was great to get fresh legs in there with Leonard Fournette at the end of the game. And I've said this before, but after I was kind of watching what happened this past Sunday and listening to Arians after the game, it makes me think they really are going to handle this running back room like it's a pitching rotation. Like you have your starter, you maybe have the guy that you come in and throw in there for a couple of innings, but then like you have the true closer. Now in football, obviously you don't have enough running backs to similar to a pitching staff where you're throwing a lot of guys out there, but in the same fold, like I think Rojo is going to start every game. And whether or not it's Rojo's show into the beginning of the second quarter, into the beginning of the fourth quarter, whatever it is, like that's going to be up to him. But clearly they are not afraid to go to Leonard Fournette as like that bullpen guy that they're bringing into the game to tote the rock. They're just going to let him have fresh legs early on. And so right now I'd still tell you that Rojo starts, but to the other part of the question, like, is he the long-term RB1? I'm not so sure anymore because, fantasy football people and everybody was covering the team. When you listen to Arians and when you saw how Rojo was running in practice, you're like, hey, this guy could be the feature back. Like he could be a guy who carries load. When we think of features, we think about like Arian Foster, Le'Veon Bells, like Adrian Peterson's, guys like that. You're touching it
Clyde
15, 20.
Edwards-Helaire.
Sure, yeah, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You're touching the ball 15, 20 times a game.
I knew you'd get it in there.
I don't think that's ever going to be in the cards this year for Rojo anymore. I just don't think that's going to be the case. They've got too much talent around them, especially with Fournette and LaShawn McCoy. I mean, McCoy was second on the team in targets last week. I understand that Chris Godwin's wasn't out there, and so that's not normally going to be the case, but it shows you what kind of usage preference they had, especially because they were winning that game most of the time, right? Like they were in pretty much full control of that game the whole time. So I always try to look towards the stat sheets, the play percentages, the usage of games where teams really have a lot of control, because that tells me that when everything is going right, this is how they're going to divvy things up. It's not always a 1-and-1, but it just gives you a good idea. And for me, Rojo got 7 carries, Fournette got 12. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I envision a world where maybe outside of 1 or 2 games this year, Rojo's getting more than 15 carries. I just don't think that it's going to happen. And so I think that he's going to be the guy who starts the game like a starting pitcher. He's going to be the first guy out there with the ball. But how long he lasts into that game, I think just depends on him. And like I said, they've shown that they will clearly go to Fournette and they don't mind it.
But Trevor,
Listen,
with that being said, like, does that work as a detriment or against either of those two guys to not get enough carries to really get rolling? Like, would that hurt Fournette that he's coming in and getting 15 as opposed to 20, 25? And will it hurt Rojo? You know, is it basically waste of 15 to start the game because he's not really going to get rolling?
I think it all kind of depends on the chemistry with the offensive line. Like, getting rolling as a running back, I think might be a little bit overrated. And in fact, we talk so much about wear and tear on running backs and taking all these hits throughout the season that I think that actually matters a little bit more than maybe like getting, you know, like 15 or, well, let's say not 15, but like, let's say you've got 7 or 8 carries under your belt and you go, okay, now I'm warm. Like I'm up into the game. Now I can really start to play. I'm not so sure that's as much of an emphasis as we really think that it is, to the point where your offensive line knows how to block for either guy. You know, if there is a contrasting style of running back, like if there's one guy who's just clearly going north to south, hitting the hole, create the running lane as soon as you possibly can, like I'm putting my foot in the ground and I'm going. Or there's another running back that kind of says, hey, I'm just going to be very shifty with it. I'm going to hold the ball a little bit. I'm going to figure out where the best running lane is. At that point in time, your offensive line is trying to deal with things that it can't see, because remember, they have their back to the ball, and they're trying to deal with running back styles that are contrasting. And I don't think Rojo and Fournette are that different really in what they're doing. They're still trying to get very north to south. And so with that in mind, I would tell you that I wouldn't think that that's as much of a detriment as you could maybe like lead yourself to believe. I think that it's kind of an overblown thing, at least for this running back situation in Tampa Bay. They're still very much more comfortable with you're getting the first carries and you're closing out the game. And I think that they're comfortable with that.
Hey, and Trevor, I'm glad you said that, because I don't think either guy played phenomenal. I like the fact that Fournette closed the game out with a big run. It's nice to see one of our longer runs not get called back on a holding penalty for once, because typically there's 3 flags on that play, and Fournette,
right.
I mean, that's what happens to Rojo every single time. But, you know, outside of that run, and I think Fournette had another decent run, neither of them ran the ball very well. I think they are very similar. They're both upright. Neither of them are very quick-footed to the hole. I think they both take some time to get going, and once they get going, they're a force. But they're kind of the same guy to me. You know, I don't think either of them are very physical, not like you would expect them to be. I think they both try to be more shifty than physical.
Yeah.
But
I think both of them are decently physical, but I think the thing that is lacking is dynamic ability with them. And if you give Fournette or Rojo a wide open lane, they're going to be able to put their foot in the ground and they can go in a straight line. Like, they can make things happen. They're straight line fast. But I think the Bucs drafted Rojo at the beginning of the second round, not because they didn't have any other running back options, but because they wanted to be more dynamic. You know, like when they had Peyton Barber, they had a guy who could run north to south and get physical and get you a couple of yards, but they wanted that back who, if the blocking's not quite right, if they're getting contact at or behind the line of scrimmage, they still want a guy who could break that tackle or bounce to the outside or do something like be a creator, be more of a playmaker. And I'm not so sure either guy is going to be that to a level that would really push the other guy out of the picture, is I guess the way that I would say it. And so I think that their styles are pretty similar. And I think that you're going to see that when the Bucs, this is going to sound like a dumb cliche because this is a giant, of course, Trevor, but when the Bucs are having a good run blocking day, both of these guys can get it done for you. And I think that's the main point. But on the flip side, if the offensive line is not having a great day blocking, I'm not so sure either of these guys are dynamic enough or enough of playmakers on their own to kind of make up for it the way that maybe the Bucs would want out of their running backs. But that's kind of the way that I see it. Like against Carolina, they were calling those duo combo blocks, and they were owning Carolina. Like, they embarrassed Derek Brown and the rest of that interior Carolina defensive line. And so when those things were working to perfection, you hike the ball, you get the double team, you push the guy back, the one guy climbs to the second level. I mean, that's how Leonard Fournette got his big runs last game. And, them hitting heavy on double teams is how Rojo was able to cut outside for his touchdown. I'm pretty sure on the 3 biggest plays of the game, they were all duo blocking scheme runs. And so, like, that's just what it's going to be about, bullying the guys up front. And they're going to lean heavily on the interior of this line to really determine how good of a rushing team they are, because I don't think it's going to be able to be just in the hands of either running back.
Trev.
Yes.
Help me out here. Help me understand something, because
I don't think they can trade for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. No.
Thank you.
No, I know that. Yeah, I've moved on emotionally, and yeah, I'm emotionally detached. But
we're at 3
help me out.
mentions already.
Help me out here, maybe with your wizardry from Hidden Valley or whatever the hell. But
Well,
help me understand something, Trev. And this one's sensitive, right? Because we've had Jake on and stuff, but I'm trying to understand something. I'm not trying to buy into the national hype and all this stuff and the big story. But how is it that our head coach can literally say our offense is designed to throw to the receivers, which I understand that's the strength of the team.
Mm-hmm.
Why the hell did we go pay $9 million for Gronk to have a block? I'm not trying. I know that it's going to get going, but what I'm trying to find from Hidden Valley is our coach, because he's a mastermind when it comes to the mental part of the game. Is he trying to, protect Gronk or his confidence because he's shot? Is he washed? And our coach is just saying, this is our offense. He's fine. When he gets the ball, he gets the ball. Is he washed? What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
$9 to block?
Right. Right. There's a lot of layers to this question. The first one that I would say right off the bat is we've watched 2 games. So we still don't know exactly what the peak of this team is. Even last week in a game where they controlled most of it, it's 2 weeks into the season. They had no minicamp. They had no OTAs. There's a lot of new guys, Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski included. Gronk was retired for an entire year. He had a WWE belt closer to the last time that he caught an NFL pass, right? So I think that all of this you have to remember. But Carolina game, he didn't look great. Like that interception from Brady, it was like Brady thought Gronk was going to be, 2 feet, 3 feet in front of where he actually was. Gronk looks like he's not moving well. And I don't think it's fair to determine whether or not he's washed or not, because I'm not so sure if it is just Gronk still trying to get his football legs from underneath him, because you could practice all you want. And I know they practice for a month in training camp, but in game is very different. So I'm not sure if it's just like, week 7, week 8, we're really going to get into the groove of Gronkowski. Because Gronk's a little bit of a weird dude too. Maybe he's just got to get popped a couple of times and actually get into it, because that's just the kind of dude that Gronk is. But if you ask me right now, yeah, he looks like a shell of himself. He does not look like he is the athlete that they expect him to be. And if the whole reason why you paid to bring him back is because you wanted Brady to have a sure thing, he doesn't look like a sure thing. He is working on his chemistry with Rob Gronkowski, just like he is working on his chemistry with brand new Justin Watson, or any of the other guys that are out there, Cameron Brace, whatever, OJ Howard. And that was not the plan. That was not what they brought him back to be. They brought him back to say, like, hey, while you're getting the chemistry out with these other guys, here's Gronkowski. Here's your favorite target basically for forever. And it's just not that. Or I don't want to say it's just not that. It has not been that. I also don't want people to freak out too much about this, because Gronkowski's only got 1 year left on his deal, right? They brought him into the fold because they're trying to make the best roster that they can. When they added Gronkowski, there really wasn't much that they were still going to do with the roster. It's not like I think they chose Gronkowski over like a huge name free agent that they chose him over or anything like that. Like, I think that they went into the season thinking this is the roster, and they added Gronkowski because they had the space, they could make it work, they moved some money around, and why not get him on the team? If it's the Rob Gronkowski of old, wow, we just hit a home run. Like, there you go, it's phenomenal. But if not, and I've said this, I was saying this before the season too, I don't think 2020 is the year for Tampa. I think they're going to be better. I think they're going to
How
be.
dare you?
I think they are going to be a 9-10 win team.
This podcast is over.
Next year, dude, it was over when we got rid of the ranch conversation. I'm just saying all these things because everybody already tuned out.
He's a Panther shill now. I see it now.
I mean, it's like we've invited the enemy into the. I can't
What the hell?
Next
clearly
year,
still salty from last
Next year's the
Sunday.
year.
I got a Christian McCaffrey tattoo on my back. You guys want to see it?
Oh my God.
I do.
Wow.
Next year's the big year for the Bucs, and everything that they have done has led to that being the case. Again, not to say they're going to be bad this year. I think that they're going to be good. They're clearly going to have a winning season. I think it's going to be a 9, maybe double-digit win season. I think they might even be a wild card team. Playoffs are absolutely in the cards for this team, but competing for the Super Bowl, perfecting this roster, knowing exactly what it could be at every single position, that was a really, really hard ask this year. And for Gronkowski, you bring him back this year. You're trying to set up the roster as good as you can. You're trying to set up that winning culture. You're trying to break that playoff drought. Because of that, I think that it's worth it. But if he's not worth it, then all of a sudden, I brought this up this week. Let's say Donovan Smith continues to struggle, right? I mean, like, he's good enough to make it through the season, but you clearly want somebody else out there. Like, let's say Tristan Wirfs is out playing him by the end of the year, and you might want to make a switch, maybe pushing Tristan Wirfs over to left tackle, whatever. Donovan Smith doesn't have any guaranteed money next year. So then all of a sudden, if you cut Donovan Smith, because he's not going to play interior. So if you cut Donovan Smith and you go to Rob Gronkowski and you go, this wasn't exactly what we thought it would be. All of a sudden you got $25 million. Boom, right there. 14 off the cap, 9 off the cap. Well, it's not 25, but you know what I'm saying. Like, and this gets still very flexible for them to then build the parts of the roster that they learned from this year while still winning and being better, to perfecting it for a 2021 run when you really got a better chance to do it. So all of that to say that's why I said it was a layered question with Gronkowski. Right now, no, he does not look like the Gronk of old. He does not look like the guy they brought him in to be, but he's a good blocker. Yeah, I think he's teaching the tight end some things. He was able to get Tom Brady at least some confidence in himself right off the bat, as if he needed it, but they would like a little bit more from him. I don't think it's the worst mistake if he doesn't turn out to be the Gronk of old, but that's kind of what we're staring at right now.
With a little respect to what Bruce said, I believe some of the media members took the first half of his quote and ran with it as opposed to the entire quote, where the second sentence was
no, but I wasn't referring to.
I know. You were referring to the
Monday press conference. Where he said,
I was just gonna say that he kind of I feel he clarified it with the most recent quote, which said, if we don't throw to them, we don't throw to them. If we throw to them 10 times, and we throw to them 10 times. One of those things that all coaches say. Whatever we ask him to do, he's going to do. And the same thing players say. Whatever coach asks me to do, I'm going to do. I think it's a little overblown. It's a second preseason game, basically. I keep trying to. I fall in the same trap. I try to kind of remind myself, hey, chill out a little bit. Let's see where this goes first before we start banging the drum to get rid of guys and why are we paying dudes and this and that. And I totally get it. I'm the guy I didn't even think we needed to pay $10 million to bring in a guy like Gronk. Thought there were other things that were probably a little bit more important, maybe better investments.
Clay Matthews.
I mean, we could have had a left tackle, dude. You never know. So there are ways to do it. You had $10 million right there. So. And you got Brate sitting on the sideline. He's making what, like $7 million or $5 million? It's not necessary. But anyway,
yeah.
With all that being said, Trevor, I'm sure you've watched some tape on the Broncos. What is the Buccaneers offense best route for success this Sunday going against that defensive line, considering all of the running back, questions or whatever you want to, the running game, and then, the use of actually having Gronk, OJ, Godwin, and Evans now all together ready to go for one game.
And before you ask that, Trevor,
I
completely forgot this week. Complete oversight by me. But the next time we play Carolina, you're not fucking safe for a cup of latte. Okay, you left us. You're not safe.
So wait, are you going to mention me in the episode?
You're fucking right. Yes.
No, he's gonna fly you down here, and you're gonna be in the episode.
There will be some weird Photoshop work done.
Is there going to be chicken breasts in the cup of latte?
Yes.
Trevor, he's good. Fuck.
Okay. He got you, bro. He got you. But you hijacked my question, which I do not appreciate, by the way.
No, okay.
I asked a great question.
So
phenomenal.
Denver, let's just go down their defense. Stars of the defense. Justin Simmons. Justin Simmons, the deep safety who could also come up and play some strong safety stuff. I mean, he's phenomenal. He's clearly their young rising star. Bradley Chubb, when I was going through the tape last week of them playing the Tennessee Titans. Wait, did they play the Titans last week? Did they play in week 1? Whatever. Denver played against the Tennessee Titans at some point.
It was week 1. They played Pittsburgh last week.
Yeah, you were right. You were right. So when they were going up against the Titans, Bradley Chubb was still on kind of that like pitch count thing, but I think that he'll be good to go. They're going to unleash him as much as they possibly can because they really need him. Jeremiah Taucher's on the other side as the edge rusher, although I think that they can handle him pretty well. He's nice. He's got some length. He's got some speed. But, I mean, even Jonnu Smith, the tight end from the Titans, he was single blocking him basically all day. So I don't think he's going to be too much to worry about. Jarrell Casey, who I thought was one of the steals of the offseason when the Broncos were able to add him, he's nice on the interior, but I don't think he's too nice for Ryan Jensen or Ali Marpet to handle. So I think that they're good there. Linebackers. Alexander Johnson's decent. Josie Jewell has played better, but I really think that attacking Josie Jewell and his limited athleticism is really where they can make some money this weekend. I think that getting the tight ends involved against a weaker coverage unit for Denver in the middle is really where an X factor ability for them to kind of unlock a lot of points is going to be had. And so they have a great chance to have a bounce back week against one of the weaker groups. And then outside, Michael Olumudier, the corner who is a third-round rookie, looked great in week 1, not so great in week 2. And so with him having to go up against either Mike Evans or Chris Godwin on any given play,
Scotty Miller,
that's the guy you attack. Well, Scotty Miller as well, but sorry, didn't mean for this to become a Scotty Miller slander podcast. That was never my intent. I just think that targeting that rookie corner is going to be good for them. They have Bryce Callahan, who's more experienced, and I think you're going to see a lot of targets going Ojimudie's way, one way or the other. And so that's really where I would see that they are weakest. You're attacking the younger parts of the secondary. Throwing deep is going to be tough on Justin Simmons. Now, he's only one man. Like, he can only cover so much ground, but he's got great range on the back end. It's a decent matchup for him going up against the Bruce Arians vertical offense. But if it's Tom Brady sitting back there and if Brady's manipulating him with his eyes, like I know Brady can do, it's going to be even tougher for Justin Simmons to have a huge impact. So if you kind of stay away from him, go after the younger parts of the secondary, attack the lower parts of the athleticism, I think that's the best way that I could put it. With their linebacker group, I think that they're good. And I really do think that this Bucs offense should have their way with Denver's defense at this point.
So confirmed, you heard it here first from Trevor, 10 catches for Gronkowski this week. Because, I mean, Bruce said he may not catch nothing or he may catch 10. And you said that they're going to make hay this week on the tight end with the tight ends. That's what you said.
No, I prefer OJ catch 10 balls to Gronk the way he's looking like a rusty fucking robot. I don't want him having the ball. He can stay on the line and block for all I care because he does not look good whatsoever. Charlie Weiss was talking about how they designed the offense in New England as an inside out type offense for their quarterbacks. You know, their read is inside out, and Arians is the complete opposite. It's outside.
Right. Yes.
Which clearly, takes away some of those underneath guys and the tight ends who eat in the middle. Why, as a head coach, wouldn't you just, keep that offense fluid? You have a plethora of good pass catching tight ends. How is it that in 2020, our head coach is still, firmly stuck to his system versus a guy who's pliable and is going to fit the system to the guys that he has? Like, I mean, who am I to question Bruce Arians? Obviously, he's had success in this league, but it's going to be criminal if we're talking about this week 8 and, OJ has 10 catches and Gronk has 15 catches. Like, this can't continue this way, especially based on what you just described.
Sure.
Their weakness, Denver's weaknesses seems to be in the middle. They're in their linebacker. So why wouldn't you attack their weakness with one of your strengths?
I think every coach has their preferences of how they like to formulate their offenses and their schemes. And Arians just has to be, I mean, he happens to be an outside guy. Like the way that he has built his offenses throughout his entire career is winning with the ones. And the ones are the guys who are on the furthest parts near the sideline. They're normally your best receivers. And so you're throwing the ball. I mean, like the way that they're looking at it is they are throwing the ball to their best talents. I mean, if I asked all of you guys who the best pass catchers on the Buccaneers would be, all three of you would say some order. Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. And okay, so you're saying Scotty Miller, it's a, it's an even bigger boost to the outside offensive guys. And when you talk about building it from the outside in or from the inside out, I really think that just happens to be where, one, you're hoping to build those kinds of strategies around the strengths of your roster. So like if your tight ends are your best options, yeah, you're going to probably build it inside out. And if your wide receivers are the best part of your roster, yeah, you're probably going to build it outside in. And the point of saying that is that's just where the primary reads are. Like that's where your eyes naturally go at the snap. Now, you build it like that, I think, at least. I've never been an offensive coordinator, but I think that you would build it like that to make it as easy as you can for quarterbacks. But when you get more experienced guys, like I'm not so sure how much the origins of this really matter for Tom Brady, because at the end of the day, like Brady's going to sit there and look at the defense and how they're set up and know the different teams and watch the film. And he's gonna be like, okay, I'm going to this guy. And so I just think that when you talk about building it inside out or outside in, that just has to do with first reads. And I think that has a bigger emphasis on younger quarterbacks or like first time quarterbacks than it does a really veteran guy like Tom Brady. I think the whole field is unlocked for Tom Brady. But in terms of, which way they're supposed to look first, I think it's just that's Arians' style. He's believed in receivers way more than he has with tight ends throughout his entire career. This is the same conversation we were having before last season when we were like, oh, like they've got Braid and they've got OJ Howard. Like Arians has never used tight ends before. Is he going to use tight ends? And I think that he uses them plenty, but it's just clearly not his primary. Like OJ Howard's not going to be leading the team in targets. Rob Gronkowski is not going to be leading the team in targets. It's just not the way that it is. So with Brady there, I think it's a little bit different. And I think that part might be a little bit overblown again, just because you have such a veteran guy back there who has seen it all. He can truly see the whole field and see the defense for what it is.
It's a great answer. It's a great answer. And stop. You look bummed, Stank. Smile. By the way,
listen, I was listening to his answer. I agree with you. It's a great answer. And then I was thinking of my next question. And you know what? I'm just going to jump in over you since you just dissed me. Should we be fitting Antoine Winfield Jr. for a gold jacket now, or should we wait toward the end of the season?
Oh, he's awesome. And I have a feeling that what I'm about to say might get clipped and used as the teaser for this podcast because it's outrageous. Yeah. But when I watched Winfield Jr. play against the Panthers this past weekend, he did a lot of Jamal Adams stuff. Now, like he's not Jamal Adams yet, but he's doing a lot of Jamal Adams stuff. They're putting him at the line of scrimmage. And you got to remember, who was Jamal Adams' coach with the New York Jets?
Bowlesy.
It was Todd Bowles. And Bowles got to draft Adams and use him as this like pseudo edge defender who could play against slot guys, who could play deep, but who could also blitz. And shoot, last year, Jamal Adams I know Todd Bowles wasn't there last year, but Jamal Adams was literally the Jets' best pass rusher last year, and so Winfield Jr. is not to that level yet. But I wrote an article for draftnetwork.com this week, and I broke down the phrase that everybody keeps saying, including this coaching staff that we heard all offseason. Winfield Jr., well, he doesn't play like a rookie. What does that mean? What does it mean to not play like a rookie? What do you mean? I mean, he is a rookie. It's his first year. What I broke down in that tape is that when you watch Winfield play, whether it's on the back end, whether it's in man coverage, off coverage, whether it's in zone, or whether it is blitzing off the edge, he plays so fast, it's like he's a veteran. When you are a rookie, no matter what position it is, especially defensive back, because defensive back is very difficult, you are learning new terminology, talking to a new coaching staff you never met before, dealing with brand new teammates, uprooting your life and living in a brand new city, trying to get all this stuff down, acclimating to strength and speed of the new game, all kinds of like film hours, being a young adult, all of this stuff is going through your head the whole time where you're just trying to make the best plays that you can. And I think you oftentimes watch rookies not play at 100% of the speed that they could play at because they're thinking a lot. And you can't blame them for that because there's so much they're trying to digest in their head. They're a little bit hesitant.
You just described Sean Murphy-Bunting last season.
Right. Yeah. And then as Sean Murphy-Bunting came along in those last 6 games, I mean, what happened and unlocked for him? He got confidence and he was able to play way faster. He was not thinking as much. Antoine Winfield Jr., his dad played 14 years in this league. He has a baseline of what NFL life was going to be like, the terminology of it, how to deal with coaches, how to deal with your new teammates. He's got all this stuff. And you can tell because when he puts his foot in the ground against Carolina, he goes so fast that when Mike Tolbert's trying to handle him off the edge, he gets blown 3 yards back and then he comes back up and punches it straight out of Bridgewater's hand. That's the difference. That is how you don't play like a rookie because rookies are supposed to be a little hesitant. There's nothing hesitant about Antoine Winfield Jr. Now, I mean, he's still a rookie, right? I mean, look at the 4th and 2 call that Christian McCaffrey scored on. If Antoine Winfield Jr. stays squaring his shoulders to Christian McCaffrey, come on, let's be real here. Even if Devin White, who I believe was supposed to have the B gap on that play, even if Devin White gets swallowed up by an extra blocker, Jordan White heads over top. He's crashing in either on the A or the B gap for wherever Teddy Bridgewater would have been for a keeper. If Antoine Winfield Jr. would have just stayed with McCaffrey, but instead he crashed hard on Bridgewater. His eyes got real big. He wanted to make the 4th down sack. He wanted to hear all those non-fans that are in the stadium chant his name for making the big stop to end the game. You know, like he just saw that moment and he went after it. He was like a bull seeing red. And what happened? You pitch it outside. It goes to Christian McCaffrey. He scores a touchdown. Mm-hmm. Those are rookie lessons that are still going to happen throughout his tape. But what you're seeing from him right now, why you should be so encouraged with him early on is because of his play speed, because there's no hesitancy in what he's doing out right now. And that tells you that this game, this level of play, and this NFL life will not be too big for him. And it's just a matter of time before he truly unlocks how good he can be.
We talked about there was a play against the Panthers where I think Bridgewater dumped it off to a running back. May have been Christian McCaffrey, maybe that Anderson kid. But as that pass is floating in the air, Antoine Winfield Jr. saw it happening. And Antoine knew what was happening and was there, hit him, 3rd down, stop, boom. Panthers are punting, right?
That was McCaffrey.
Yeah,
that was McCaffrey, dude. So he was playing. He was
off. He was so far off of it too. Yeah.
Yep.
We saw that. We instantly knew this guy wasn't just studying film. He was studying film with his dad. He knew how to study film. Like all those, we talked about it so many times on this week alone of how he knows how to study film based on the fact that he had his dad with him, right? And then after that first game, I think it was a post-game interview or maybe a press conference, he said something along the lines of, the first half I kind of had to adjust, and then by the time we hit halftime, I'd adjusted to the speed of the NFL. And I'm like, what? That's supposed to happen like 10
years.
That's like 10 games, bro. What are you talking about? Yeah. He's already there. Now, with that being said, and we're kind of on the secondary, right? The Broncos have some serious power out there at in terms of their wide receivers. They have some guys that can stretch the field both vertically, horizontally, and they can actually they're playmakers out there. And we've kind of seen in the past this secondary will struggle with guys that are quick twitchy like that and can really burn it once they get the balls in their hands. Whoa. What can we expect from this secondary against this team? And how will the pass rush be a big deal in influencing what that outcome is behind them?
Yeah. So I was on a Broncos pod earlier this week, and I actually just straight up asked him. I was like, without Courtland Sutton, because Courtland Sutton is out. He is their true X receiver who plays on the line of scrimmage, who would be their one. With him out, what is their wide receiver lineup going to look like? Because when I heard that Courtland Sutton was out, and when I thought about it from a matchup standpoint with Tampa Bay, I went, if they get Jerry Jeudy on Carlton Davis, this isn't going to be pretty. Like Jerry Jeudy is going to cook Carlton Davis because I like Carlton Davis. I thought that he was really coming along during the second half of last season. He gained a ton of confidence. He's much more comfortable playing physical. He knows how to really get into wide receivers without drawing those penalties. Now we're seeing the ball skills, all that kinds of stuff. He is built both in skill set and in size and mentality too, I guess, to handle those true big X receivers, those guys who play on the line of scrimmage. You put Jerry Jeudy up against him, it's going to be a problem. Like unless he can really get his hand up into Jerry Jeudy consistently on press coverage and in the contact window, Jerry Judy's just going to cook him all day long.
He did pretty well. He did pretty well against Hopkins last season, though.
No, and this is true, but again, Hopkins can play more of an X. Like Hopkins is a guy who will play on the line of scrimmage, where it's like if you go back and watch that Hopkins game, there are a couple plays where he gets away with a little bit of pass interference, but still, like that's being physical. Like that's the savviness of his nature of play. So he really bothered Hopkins in that regard. I'm talking about when the ball gets hiked and Carlton Davis goes to shove him with one hand, and Jerry Jeudy's just like, bah, 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 bah. All right, I'm gone. It's like getting right away from him. That might be a problem. But yes, I was told that Tim Patrick is probably going to play more of the X role. That makes me think, okay, they're probably going to put Carlton Davis just to shadow Tim Patrick and really shut him down because he's probably not going to be that much of a threat anyways. It's going to be Sean Murphy-Bunting on Jerry Jeudy. That's what I think. And this is going to be a great matchup and a great test for Sean, who I think has had a really nice start to 2020. He's going to go up against what I already think is one of the more deadly route runners in the NFL, even as a rookie in just his third start with Jerry Jeudy. Now, the interesting matchup here for me, I guess, with Drew Lock being out and Jeff Driscoll being their quarterback, who knows, I guess. But they have consistently targeted Noah Fant throughout the first 2 weeks of this season. They're clearly building their offense around him to keep things vertical, up in the middle, up the seams. And traditionally, over the last couple of years, the Bucs have asked Jordan Whitehead to cover tight ends man on man. Jordan Whitehead's given up. I know he beefed up a little bit, but I know he ate some peanut butter sandwiches this summer. But I think that going up against Fant, that's a lot of weight that you're losing. So those are the two biggest matchups for me in the secondary. Who's going man on man with Noah Fant when they do go man coverage and they bring that extra pressure? And then Sean Murphy-Bunting probably matching up with Jerry Jeudy for most of the game. So whether it is Antoine Winfield Jr. or Jordan Whitehead going up against the tight ends, how they cover them, and then, of course, Sean Murphy and how he handles that.
Being the Florida Gator aficionado that you are, let's talk about that Broncos quarterback. What are we going to see? How much has this guy matured for those who saw him in college? And now, a couple of years later, we're seeing him in the NFL. Is there any reason to be worried? Because this team, this organization, this fan base is a little bit scared of these backup guys for some reason. I don't know why, but I guess backups do well against the Bucs.
Well, anytime that you're bringing in somebody new, there's always an element of they could catch you by surprise. For example, look at the Chargers last week, right? I mean, like Tyrod Taylor was scheduled to be the starter. Tyrod has the chest injury that we all now know about, and Justin Herbert starts the game. Herbert didn't even know he was going to start until like 30 seconds before the game kicked off. But you know what? Neither did the Chiefs. And all of a sudden, like, the Chargers start coming out and they start running like pistol stuff, RPOs, because that's what Justin Herbert ran in college at Oregon. So they were calling an offense that was very comfortable for Justin Herbert. That's not what they watched on tape. They watched something different from Tyrod Taylor. And so even though, like there's some argument that, of course, like a veteran like Tyrod Taylor might be able to handle an offense better than a rookie in his first start like Justin Herbert. Herbert was getting guys open. Herbert was fooling this defense because they just didn't they'd never studied this guy before. And Driscoll's a little bit different because he's got tape out there. He's a little bit of an NFL journeyman. And so I don't think they're going to be that susceptible to that kind of thing. But anytime you are throwing a new guy in the mix, there is a chance that they could just like throw something at you that you don't expect. That's really the only threat with Jeff Driscoll. I mean, I don't think that he is a big time NFL caliber quarterback. I really don't. I think that he's a career backup, and he plays in these situations. When the first guy gets hurt, he's got to come in. He might win a couple of games for you, but he's not somebody who I think, even with the element of surprise, should be striking fear in the hearts of their opponents.
So basically every Gator quarterback at the NFL level. Got it. Sweet.
Oh, that's the highest praise. Yep. That's a career backup is like the highest praise for every Florida quarterback at this point.
Damn.
Hey, look, who else they got? Treon Harris, no. Skylar Morningwig, no. John Brantley, no. Tim Tebow, no.
Sexy Rexy came the closest. Sexy Rexy came the closest.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Gator great Cam Newton did win an MVP.
There you go. Yeah. He's playing well right now in New England.
Gator great Cam Newton.
Are we gonna get our pass rush to this fakey NFL quarterback?
Shaq Barrett revenge game, baby. He's going off for 8 sacks. He's going off for 8. No, I'm kidding. It is funny because I was on that Broncos podcast and they were like, is Shaq gonna, is he pissed off with the Broncos? And I'm like, I really don't. Shaq's the nicest dude in the world, right? I really don't think Shaq has a picture of John Elway up in his locker room and he's like throwing darts at it like throughout the week. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't think that's the case with Shaq. Now, does he want to stick it to his old team? Yeah, probably. I mean, like we all would. But at the end of the day, it's not like the Broncos screwed this guy over. They had him on the team for 5 years. They had an opportunity to draft Bradley Chubb, and they took it. And so, I don't think there's necessarily ill will, but I do think, for a lot of people out there who are like, hey, we're 2 games into the season, Shaq's got 0 sacks. Whereas, yeah, this guy led the NFL in sacks last year. Well, one, if you expected Shaq to have like anywhere from like 16 to 18 sacks again this year, it wasn't going to happen. So you needed to check your reality here. But I do think both this week against the Broncos and next week against the Los Angeles Chargers, these are 2 very good matchups. This is an opportunity for him to get his first 1 or 2 sacks of the season and get some confidence going later in the year. Garrett Bowles, he's been solid when he's played well, but I mean, like there are a lot of penalties that this guy's taken over the last couple of years. And so, if he's going up against their left tackle, there's a chance there. Right tackle, they're already wondering whether or not they should start DeMar Dotson instead of the guy that they have in there. So even if they do start Dotson, Shaq Barrett knows him very well. So the edges are very vulnerable for the Buccaneers to attack on Denver. And that goes beyond Shaq. Jason Pierre-Paul too. He's got a sack in both of their first 2 games. I could easily see Jason Pierre-Paul getting out of these next 2 weeks with 4 sacks in the 4 games played. So I think that's a possibility there.
He didn't practice today though, right?
Jason Pierre-Paul, did he not?
Yeah,
he hasn't practiced. They said any Thursday. He didn't practice either Thursday.
Oh, okay.
He's fine. He's
that day, baby.
He's nursing a knee injury supposedly. So, but he's gonna play. He's gonna play.
State's wearing the hat, and I meant to ask you earlier, but how did it feel to have 7 months off and then come in and score a goal like that?
Yeah.
I mean, like you never left the ice.
That's why I wore the hat, because I'm a fan.
Like, what an iconic moment for you, bro. Like,
it felt great. Felt great to, do it for the guys, see the reaction on the bench. I mean, that's what it's all worth it. Getting that hug from Maroon right after I scored the goal, that made it all the rehab worth it. Working hard, getting back on the ice. Really didn't think that I was going to get back this playoff, but there's a lot of hard work from a lot of great people around me to make that happen. And so, it was really great to just be out there with the guys again.
Did you do it?
Scary.
Great answer.
That was scary.
Did that sound like every hockey interview ever?
Yeah.
Every hockey interview ever is the exact same. Well, we just gotta, we gotta keep, things on momentum. We gotta get the puck into their zone. We just gotta stop doing silly turnovers. I mean, we have faith that we play our game. We can beat anybody.
I was gonna ask you, did you play, with half of your mind basically on the effort of just bringing team morale up? Like, was team morale basically the whole object of you coming in there, playing a few minutes, end up scoring a goal, and just it's amazing seeing it happen, man. It was. Yeah,
I mean, team morale was shit before I got out there. I'm not gonna lie to you, they weren't gonna win without me. So when we win the cup, I better be the first to kiss it, because they wouldn't be here without me.
That was a big 1 goal out of the 5 they scored. Yeah, absolutely.
That was important.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
It was important.
Listen, we called this episode Fan Friday because we have voicemails. And
oh, Lord. Okay.
I can't promise you that any of these are professional or normal or not extremely weird, but we are going to go on with them. So we're going to play these one by one, and we're either going to react or answer the question and kind of just round table it out.
We're nod our heads and move on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, it depends really. So
are these specifically for Trevor, or are they just questions?
They're for us. Some of them are questions. Okay. Some of them are comments. Some of them are just things. So we'll just have to kind of go with it. We'll let Trevor answer the question ones, and then we'll just kind of have fun with the ones that are not questions, because he probably won't be able to handle those.
Here's to the loose cannons, baby. Rocking the house as always. You got to love it, man. It's your neighborhood friendly, big nasty, 2-time Hall of Fame Buccaneer fan, brother. And I'm just telling you, We're ready to ride those donkeys this Sunday, and we're gonna ride that donkey. Gonna ride that donkey. Hey, Buck Nation, let's get up, let's get loud, and let's always be proud. But always remember, get nasty. Go Bucs! Woo!
Go Bucs.
Get nasty.
I don't think that was a question, but that was a great way to start it off.
Yeah, that was solid, man.
That's
Big
a Hall
nasty.
of Fame.
Wait, hold on. Did he say two-time Hall of Famer?
Yeah, he's made it
He
two times.
two-time?
He's the two-time, just like Dr. Disrespect.
Wow.
1993, 1994, back-to-back blockbuster champion.
All right, well, that was an awesome call, actually.
That was awesome.
That was great. That was a good one to start things off.
Yeah.
Loose Cannons. This is Mike from North Dakota on Twitter
Mike?
at Tampa2_Mike. Just calling in, jacked up about this weekend's game in Denver. I think we need to play a clean game. No more pre-snap penalties, and make sure we catch the ball for once here. It was a bad
That's key.
game for drops last week, but it doesn't matter if we come out of this with a 1-point victory or a fucking 100-point victory. Let's get a
What the?
victory and move on. Love the podcast.
Thanks.
You guys are awesome. It's my favorite one. So
Thank you. I agree.
keep it up. Thanks.
No, Mike. You're awesome, Mike. You're awesome.
He brings up a good point, though, Trevor.
A lot of drops last week, Trevor.
Yeah.
My internet cut out for like half of that, but I heard you say that there were a lot of drops last week, and I would agree. There were a lot of drops last week. What were there, 7? They have 7 drops last week?
25 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2.
Yeah.
Possibly
Listen,
3.
the Cyril
By the way-
Grayson throw wasn't a drop. Poor Cyril Grayson.
Oh
His,
my-
in the stupid
No,
ball
it's-
that hit him in the head. That was not Cyril's fault.
It hit him in the helmet.
No, hey, if you actually learned anything in high school, he did not run that route right. There's, if you like, I read something that was written by a wide receiver a few years ago. There's something called the red line, apparently.
Tell
And
me about it.
he didn't give any space on the sideline, and
all.
he deviated out into the sideline. He was running out of bounds before the ball was even thrown up, man.
Right.
He was on his way
Right.
out.
Way past the red line.
Yeah, so like,
Listen, if we can make
and-
excuses.
no, I'm not making excuses. It was still like Tom should still hit that pass in a different route, like in a different spot. He had the
Terrible
middle
throw.
space in this, in the middle to lead him, but I could understand how it kind of looked weird coming out from the quarterback because he didn't really run a good route. But
Yeah,
he tried to.
if
He
you-
also tried to catch with his face mask. Who's trying that? Like,
Yeah, not recommended. I went back right after the game, and I just looked at the 3 catches that should have been touchdowns. Because if you go back and if you try to do the calculations for all of the drops, then you go like, oh well, Tom Brady would have had this day. Well, it's kind of weird because if they weren't catches that ended drives, then you go like, oh, okay, he caught this. It was a first down. Okay, well then like what happens after that? Like you don't know what happens in the future drive that never existed. So I just took the 3 catches that should have been guaranteed touchdowns, which was the McCoy catch, the Scotty Miller catch, and then the Grayson catch. And if you do that, Tom Brady's day goes to like 26 for 35. I think it was like 293 yards or something and 4 touchdowns.
Yep.
And so it's like, we're talking about a totally different end of the game if that happens, if they just catch the football. I mean, like Good Morning Football, First Take, everyone on Twitter, like everyone is talking about Tom Brady at this point if they just caught those 3 passes, because almost 300 yards and 4 touchdowns is way different than, what was it, like 220 yards and 1 touchdown. It's a way different game, and all they had to do was catch the ball. Catching the football I would recommend. That would be good.
yes.
I'm gonna hit the next one here. My headphones are about to die, guys, so I'm just gonna keep hitting play, and I might not be able to hear you guys either way.
Whose headphones are battery operated in 2020, bro? What the fuck? Plug them in.
I can't plug them in and use them at the same time.
All right, cool. Just hit play.
So, gentlemen, I received a request to call in for today's Friday roll call, and I'm happy to be here to do just that. I had something cooking where I was going to attempt to address Sammer's latent anti-veganism, and I'm going to put that on the back burner. I'm not going to think about it too much. I'm going to allow him to evolve past it, as we all do. I want to specifically thank Christian for your outright acceptance, Dang for your open curiosity as you inquired gently and inquisitively about the nature of veganism. Stammer, I want you to know, while your bigotry hurts, I I forgive you. And we'll be on this
I
journey
don't want your
together.
forgiveness.
Overcome your anti-veganism.
I don't want.
Now,
I will always hate
hey,
vegan.
It's an important game for a lot of reasons. This is a game that they should win decisively and completely. And that is why I think the way that they won the Panthers game was perfect for them. They needed that game to where they witnessed both what they were capable of. They felt the pain of making mistakes, but they still got out of there okay. They still got out of there alive. But this is clearly a game that they need to come out, assert themselves early and completely. Need to build a decisive and commanding lead halfway through the third quarter, and Tom Brady needs to have a seat. I want to see Blaine Gabbert play the fourth quarter this week. That's what I want to see. Here's the problem, though. 0-2 teams are wounded animals. They're fucking dangerous, all right? This is their season. This is their fucking Super Bowl. Whether it's Driscoll or Bortles, they're going to be out there throwing everything they got. Trick plays, fake punts, the whole fucking shebang.
With Driscoll?
All right? This is a bit of a trap in a sort of a way. You know, it's dangerous.
Not with Tom.
But I honestly believe that they are talented enough, and they are capable, and they have the leadership to say, this is a game we should go out there and fucking kick the shit out of them. We've got to go out there in the first half and take their fucking soul. And then in the third quarter, put them out of their fucking misery.
Wow.
That's what needs to happen.
Doesn't
That's
sound
what
like a
I'm looking for
vegan.
This week.
Yeah, he's still not
So,
vegan.
He's an angry vegan.
It's
Probably why he's angry.
He needs some
got
meat.
kind of wonky injury
He never gets to
neck.
eat, and he doesn't get to poop a lot either.
I'm not
Once every 8
worried about
days.
him. I'm a little worried about Watson, only because he plays so much on special teams. He's all around. I'm so happy to have, it's a smooth Chris Godwin back on the field. That's fantastic. I'm just enjoying it. Just going to enjoy it one step at a time, one day at a time, and I do think we're building something really beautiful. Again, stay frosty, my friends. And of course, love the plant-based population of the contingency. I hope you're all doing well. I can't wait for this fucking game. I'm so excited. I will talk to you gentlemen later. Thank you for everything.
Okay, before anybody comments, guys, just so you know, like we did this roll call, awesome, but we got to keep these to 90 seconds or less.
Thank
okay?
you. Holy
Can't
shit.
be doing no 2-minute and 59-second
Guys,
voicemail.
Kevin
Love
just
you.
Kevin just gave us an inauguration speech.
Aren't you
Holy shit.
in control of it? Aren't you in control of it over there?
Yeah, you could have cut it off.
Cut them off.
Yeah, but listen, I
No,
will
but
give
you get-
Kevin credit here. Kevin is phenomenal with adjectives. Is he not? I mean, holy
Nice.
shit. It
He's
was,
paint a picture.
yeah, it was beautiful.
Look, the only thing the Bucs fans should honestly be worried about with this game is that it's in Denver, and anytime teams play Denver in Denver early in the season, they're likely not as conditioned as they are in the middle and the end of the seasons, and the air is a little bit easier to or harder to breathe when you're not used to it up in the mile high. That's about it, though.
Did you know
Other
you
than
Mike
that,
Evans today?
Other than that,
yeah, but Tom
Tom
had
Mike Evans today?
but Tom had his guy. What's his name? Guerrero. Guerrero brought a bunch of air down this week for practice.
Yeah.
So I think-
okay,
I
never
think
mind. They're
we're-
good.
I think
Yeah,
they're
never
okay.
mind. They're
Mike
good.
Evans' press conference today. He said, "I don't give a damn about some high whatever. I don't give a damn."
Well,
He's never
I
played
know
in it,
Mike. I know Mike doesn't care. Mike's
never
not gonna
played
like
in
be
it.
scared of what's Mike gonna be like? Yeah, I'm scared, man. Air's gonna get to me.
Yep.
You know, I'm an
Hey, Trevor.
all pro wide receiver. This air though.
Trevor, that answer was cute and everything, but what we really want to know is how do you feel about vegans?
Yeah. Are you a anti-veganist like I am, or
He's like,
are you-
I'm not
What
gonna-
do you mean? What do you mean like an anti-veganist?
Yeah, I mean, listen,
Like,
that was basically the theme of his
you-
whole call.
Do you want everyone who is vegan to like
eat meat?
be shipped off to the moon?
No. I just want them
Or-
all to experience the beauty and joy of eating, like off of a live cow. Just
Live.
Do you
With
think
three
that they?
sides to the
Well,
room.
hold on though. Do you think that they haven't before? I feel
No.
like they have, and
No.
then they've chosen to be.
they are
vegan.
choosing to not eat meat and poop once every 8 days. They are
Listen,
choosing to
I-
live this way.
It's not a lifestyle that I would likely live by.
Of course not. Barbecue is meat.
Hey, they
Right,
have a vegan barbecue place in
Yeah,
Tampa.
well, sure you
At-
do. What do you guys eat? Cabbage and like paper mache? Get out of here. Next call, Christian.
Next call.
Fucking
Next
next
call.
call.
Loose cannons, baby.
Lou.
That's all.
Lou.
Yes, sir. We got that fucking dub, baby. We got that dub.
We
got
did.
fucking Denver
I
coming.
thought that was it. I thought that was it. I thought
No
he,
way.
I thought he
No
was
way.
done.
Not with Lou.
It looks. I mean, you can never tell, man. I mean, we got a fucking backup quarterback, man, and Driscoll, man, and or who knows, man, if they're gonna fucking play Bortles, man. I don't think so. It's fucking too close, but it doesn't fucking matter. Doesn't fucking matter. Fuck that. We're gonna get some. We're gonna get some. We're gonna fucking eat up in high altitude, man.
We can eat vegan? He said we're gonna eat.
Yeah.
We're eat vegan?
We're eating horses.
Oh.
We're gonna get some.
Exactly.
I think we're gonna do all right, man. You know, this whole Leonard Fournette, man, and getting rid of fucking Rojo and Shady, man. Fuck all that, man. We need all three of them bastards. We need all three.
Like on the field at the same time?
Yes.
No,
Yeah, we're gonna run the wing T.
fucking easy.
Georgia Tech's offense.
The whole season, man. You never know. You know, God forbid injuries and shit like that, man. But look, you got a three-headed monster, man, and just fucking work over teams later in the season.
Yeah, that was 90 seconds. I mean, we
That's
can
fine.
stop there.
That's
Keep
fine.
going. Love
That's
you,
fine.
Lou, but we got more. We got
We got
gotta-
more.
Listen, here. All right, here's what I got out of that. One, we're eating vegan this weekend.
No,
we're
we're
eating.
not. We're eating
No, like
horses.
he said. No, Lou said it. He said we're eating, and we're clearly eating vegan. And then two, we're bringing back the old Georgia Tech style of triple option, where Mike Evans is playing the Calvin Johnson role. That's what I heard.
What do you
That's
what do you
I
think
got
of
out
that? What do you, is that the recipe for success? Is that key to victory number one?
Yeah, no. And if I've said anything before, it's that here in 2020, the more you run the ball, the better.
Thank you. All right, cool. Byron agrees. He's like taking tons of notes about first down right now. All right, on first down, run wing T. Got it. All right.
Hey, real quick though, I'm not down on. I mean, Shady dropped the touchdown pass, but to me, you know, where Gronk looks old and trash and busted and like he doesn't even belong on
Damn,
the NFL
dude.
football field anymore.
Is it
I
because
think
he's vegan?
Shady, yeah, maybe.
Like, really
I think
good.
Shady looks pretty quick. Maybe I'm not used to seeing the foot speed, but he still looks kind of silky out there for me.
He did a little ball fake this past weekend. You see it when he cooked the one guy. He did the thing where he like takes the ball and he puts it out to the right as if that's where the ball is going, and then just jukes the other way.
He
Doesn't
does.
make any
It's like
sense
a,
at
it's
all.
like a
but-
basketball fake.
He
on-
pulled
on
right.
football
Yeah,
field.
he pulled off the AI Michael Jordan crossover, but with
Yeah, he
football.
tried to
but
cross
it
it.
worked.
Which
Real talk though. His average per catch wasn't huge, but he made a couple big catches. That third down conversion where he got super slippery and slipped between the two defenders to keep that drive going was fucking huge.
dude,
huge.
I
He
heard him
catches
after.
that ball. What happened?
No, I was just gonna say I heard him after the game. He's like, yeah, I caught it because I went vegan this summer, and like that's the whole reason why I caught
God
it.
damn it. God damn it.
Next caller.
Next.
Loose Cannons, what's up? It's your boy Zach from West Virginia. Just calling in with
West Virginia.
with some questions. Got 3 questions for you guys. First,
Wow.
That's right.
are you guys as surprised as I am about the lack of the screen game? I really figured it would be heavily featured. I feel like it's been a little underwhelming thus far. Secondly, how many sacks do you think Shaq's going to get this week being back in Denver? I feel like he's going to just unleash some emotions on those bitches and go crazy.
Yes.
And lastly,
Bitches.
when you guys are oiling each other up with that baby oil, is it front to back or back to front? All right, fellas. Appreciate it. Love what you guys do. Take care.
What is this baby oil? What is he talking about?
I'm gonna let Trevor address the first 2 questions first, and then we all have,
Undress was a very specific.
Do you know Stephen Beck?
No.
yeah,
wait.
yeah, no, I do. I know Steven.
You realize who that is on this baby oil?
Face on this. Beck.
Steven actually, oh my gosh.
There's parts of Stephen in here.
Steven actually went to my high school.
Oh, that's.
And
What
we
was
like
that
we figured this out like after I got the job with Pewter Report and everything, and he was, like interacting with the Bucs stuff that I was writing, and then I said something about going to BCS high school, and he was like, "Wait, what?" And so yeah, we actually went to the same high school.
But
So,
you
yeah.
didn't actually know him there, because I was going to ask you if
No,
you
no,
knew
no.
him.
He's older than I am. He had already
Oh,
graduated.
Okay. Well,
Beck's
let's get
like my age.
let's get to Mike's first question about the
Okay.
lack of the screen game in
Yeah.
the first 2 weeks so far of the season. are you surprised that it's not more prevalent?
I had not thought of that before. Maybe because of the Dirk Cutter era, running wide receiver screens with Adam Humphries. I just never wanted to see one ever again. But yeah, I mean, I guess this is, normally you do more screens. I mean, I could be way off here, but I think that this is one motivation that you have with screens. Like, if your offensive tackles or if your offensive line in general is really struggling to keep your quarterback upright, and you've got the defensive line in front of you who thinks that they're going to tee off and get a record number of sacks this year, and they're just blowing up field, then all of a sudden you'll throw a screen and you'll throw them off because they'll think the quarterback's going to hold on to it quick, and they just beat the offensive line, and, oh, look, it's a screen. I guess we really haven't seen a lot of that early on. So that's an interesting point. I really have not thought about it. Maybe we'll see it more in the season. Maybe Bruce Arians hates it. Who knows? Shaq sacks this weekend.
5.
I mean, it's one or two.
It's 5.
Oh, let's say 2. Let's have some fun. Like, let's say 2. Let's say he gets 2 against his old team. There you go. I'll say 2.
Okay.
Now,
And then
the other
Seth,
question.
You want to go first on the baby oil?
Yeah, I mean, Mike, it's a great question, honestly. And all three of us, we kind of do it differently. I don't know how Trevor applies baby oil to another man, but we'll let him answer that question. But Christian, you go ahead and start first, and we'll go to Stank, and I'll answer the third, and then we'll let Trevor finish that off.
I go front to back, because front and just back and just woof, just out of the way. I don't want to go and bring shit that's back to the front. I'm good.
Oh, so it's a cleanliness thought process. I got you. Stank.
Exactly.
Amateurs, dude. It's clearly one hand on each side, so you got to front and back.
Wow.
Oh, so you're cradling. You're going
front and back, bro.
That sounds the most efficient.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That is pretty efficient.
Come on.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm back to front. Absolutely. I'd like to get the large surface area of the back out of the way, the ass, and then work my way down, towards the front. Yeah, absolutely. Back to front. Now, Trevor.
No, I don't do that. I'm vegan.
Oh, wow.
Vegan.
I've applied baby oil to a vegan. It's
Great
not
answer.
true.
That is a great answer.
Great
I
answer.
mean, if I had to do it, what I would do is I just start over the head, and I just pour the entire bottle out, and I would just let the oil fall where it may, if you will. You've got to have faith. You got to have faith that there's a higher power involved, and that the oil goes where it needs to go.
I mean, it is Beck's oil. This is special oil.
I'm surprised you didn't know about this baby oil thing on our show.
Now that he says it, I've seen you guys talk about it on Twitter, but I had no idea what you guys were actually talking about. But it is, yeah, it's
It all started. It all started because Stank had a crush on Noah Spence, and Noah Spence would wear the cutoff shirt during training.
I just wanted to.
Baby
oil.
you would literally glisten.
Yeah.
So then we created Mr. Beck 2020. That was Noah Spence, and then
I just wanted to know how Noah got his abs just so greased up, and oiled up, and then we started our own baby oil company, and now we're filthy rich.
Wait, now do you have Steven's actual consent here? You're just using his likeness, and he's not getting it.
Oh yeah, he came in the studio and shot a commercial.
Absolutely, he's all in,
Wow.
dude. Listen, he's
Okay.
all in.
All right.
He's a huge part of the brand, obviously.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah. So,
all right, next.
I think we got a couple more.
Hey, man, this is Corey from Nashville, man. Sorry, earlier my phone cut out. Hey, that first message from me, please delete it.
We did.
Please delete it.
We did.
It wasn't a bad message. It's not as good as this message.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Call dropped out, and it was
Bold.
going in and out, messing me up. But anyway,
Better be fired.
Setting the bar
word
high.
for me today and my Buccaneers is creativity. Creativity. We got too many weapons to not be scoring points in an entire half. Too many weapons. Let's get creative out here, Leftwich. I'm looking at you.
Ain't wrong.
Creativity. I love what I'm seeing on the defensive end. Fast, fun. I'm trying to think of another F word. Screw it. Aggressive.
Fantastic.
That's not an F.
Aggressive.
Fanatic. No,
Vegan.
I don't know. Anyway.
Vegan.
Frenzy. Fast, fun, and frenzy.
Okay.
That's how our defense is playing. That is fun to watch.
I hope
Friendship.
you're not a writer.
Fellowship.
Fantastic.
Funk.
Wait on the defense to make a play. I know it was just 2 games in. This game should be a game full of creativity, full of activity, full of
And
new
full
things,
of Fs.
exciting things against the Denver Broncos with that young secondary, and one of the best pass rushers not playing, and against a very young quarterback. I am looking forward to this Sunday. I will be calling you guys this Sunday evening. Hopefully I get to speak with you. Delete that first message that I left, please. Corey from Nashville. This is the
Now I
real.
want to hear. Now I want to hear the first match.
Dude, he gave away some trade secrets. Like, you know, I think there were some incriminating messages on that first tape.
Yeah,
there was creativity, objectivity,
friendship, fellowship.
I thought he was gonna end that message just saying like, we got too much creativity, and like that was it. Like, just start cutting people. Like, just start cutting guys on the team.
Next,
listen, we saw a flea flicker.
Hey,
go ahead. Sorry, we saw flea flicker.
No, I'm saying that we're creative. That's the first time we've had a flea flicker.
Sure. That's an F word too. You know, flea flicker.
That's right.
Flea flicker activity.
Flea
flicker activity.
All right.
This is Gene from Buck What You Heard. Love the podcast. Love this show. Never miss it. Feel like the Bucs are going to win this game. All I got to do is execute, keep the turnovers down, and they got this. I love the defense. The defense seems to be the strength of the team right now. Can't ask for anything more. Look where we were 3 years ago compared to where we are now, and I'm loving it. This is going to be a good season. Go Bucs.
I just want to say, like, this has the feel of like old school radio, you know, like where you're just like taking callers and people are just like wanting to just get their opinion out. Like, I love it. Like, I love this format. This is awesome. This is really cool.
Sweaty baby.
That's why everyone loves us, Trev, and not you.
And because you got a baby oil company.
Thank you. That too.
With actual parts of Beck in the oil.
Yeah,
there's babies in this baby oil. That's what makes us different, bro. There's parts of babies in here.
Of baby.
It's literally baby oil.
Please don't say that with me sitting here on the podcast. Please.
Next caller.
I'm trying to have a career.
We own a baby oil company.
What's up, guys? Josh. I just wanted to call in. I mean, I was gonna talk about the Bucs, but now I'm distracted because I just keep seeing you guys with the ranch slander.
Oh my God!
Honestly,
fuck with Trevor.
Is disgusting. Like, you're literally eating mold, and I can't even talk Bucs right now because it reminded me to call in because I saw a tweet from Stink. So just wanted to remind you guys that you're completely wrong about that. And yeah, but I love your show.
It's subjective. How are we wrong?
It's the worst call we've ever received.
Bucs content, Bucs clothes. We love it.
Trevor's dying right now.
You're wrong about this one. Peace out, guys.
He's like, I can't even talk Bucs.
I just called in. What the hell?
You're eating fucking mold. Fuck you guys.
Hey, bro. If
that was pretty good.
If it wasn't for mold, I'd be homeless. So I gotta eat. I gotta put it in my body.
Eat as much mold as you can, bro. Man. I mean, he called us to tell us we're idiots, and then he said, "I love you guys. I love your podcast, but you guys are wrong."
Yeah, you've got we're in the
your
same
opinion
boat.
is
like
wrong.
I love you guys. You have, I love coming on the podcast, but you've got bad condiment opinions. That's all there is to it.
This is how
according to John Ledyard, your whole palate, your whole
questionable
everything.
He says you lead them to trash food, which tastes good.
Yeah,
it's just trash.
He said that people out there think that you have this sophisticated palate when it's basically
bar food.
What did he say?
Bar food.
He said Chinese buffet.
Listen.
He did not. Yeah. I missed this yesterday.
All right. So what did you say? Say that again. Say that again to me.
Basically,
he just says you don't have a sophisticated palate.
Yeah. He said he leads you. You've led them to good food, but it's like bar food, which is fine. It tastes good, but one time you took them to a Chinese buffet. It was so great you guys almost put it out of business. But it's not like classy, sophisticated dining with your pinky out when you're drinking. He's just saying, people are being misled by, some things that you put on Twitter.
Hold on a second. I don't like pinky out bullshit. I like real local spots.
You don't like a nice $250 steak?
No. Who the fuck wants a $250 steak? I can make a better steak myself for cheaper.
This non-vegan guy would love that $250 steak.
Let the record show who wanted to go to the Chinese buffet when we did, and that was Miss John Ledyard.
Wow.
Oh.
When we went to the Chinese buffet,
we've created a problem.
John wanted to go to a Chinese buffet, and after watching how much food John could put down, I understood why he wanted to go there. However,
Is he
However-
just gross when he eat? He just
No, he's not. I mean, it's not like a pig where you just, like fasten something to the back of his head and he just eats out of a trough. But like the dude put down, I can listen, guys, I can eat a lot. John can out eat me any day of the week. And it's scary. It's terrifying. He probably had like 7 plates of Chinese buffet food, like full plates.
Yeah, I'm tapping at 3 or 4.
Yeah, no, it was
the amount of sodium in his body should have sent him into cardiac arrest.
That sounds like me in high school when I was like 110 pounds soaking wet. I just eat nonstop, dude, nonstop.
Yeah,
but next caller, because my headphones are about to die.
Yeah,
I love John though. Just want
to Stank, Papa Latte. Got a question for you. Actually, two-part question. First of all, how did you guys all meet each other? And then secondly, what made you become Buccaneer fans? All right, I appreciate it. You guys got an awesome show. Keep up the great work. Bye.
Thank you.
Well, we don't like. I mean, to answer the first question, we don't meet anything because we're vegan.
Yeah, we don't meet at all. It's a vegan world.
Yeah, but
we didn't meet
Asian massage parlor. That's where I met.
First and foremost, thank you for the call. Appreciate it. I don't know who Papa Latte is. I'm Poppy Latte. Poppy Latte. Poppy.
That was very good. That's pretty good.
And then the way I met Sam and Stank, I was in the AOL Messenger in the chat room, and just tag, just kind of, I liked the name, and I was like, sex, age, and location, and we hit it off since then. It's been great.
My screen name, Mammoth Muslim 129. I mean, that's always been, that's just how you get, that's how you get people to meet you. It's just pretty simple, really. It's
chat roulette is actually where I met.
Please block out my entire screen during this part of the podcast, please.
How I became a Bucs fan, rapid fire, all 4 of us really quick. I actually didn't even like football until I met my wife. My father was never in the picture, so I was a basketball fan. When I met my wife, my father-in-law introduced me to the glorious sport that is football, and I'm forever thankful of that. And then I'm not thankful because he introduced me to this infection called being a Bucs fan. And I was at the highest of the high.
Bucs fever.
We won it all. It was fucking amazing. And then I've been on this fucking
Bucs
trajectory.
Fever? Yep, Bucs fever. Since. That's why the pandemic doesn't scare me. We've had Bucs fever for like 25 years, so we're fine.
Go ahead, Sammer. How did you become?
Honestly, man, I was in 6th grade. I really didn't know anything about football. This like thing came in the mail from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers asking people to, basically it was like for kids. It was very weird. It was like a blank uniform, and it said design and color and turn it in what you think would be the new Tampa Bay Buccaneers uniforms. This is before they debuted the red and pewter, right? So I'm like this child. I'm like, whatever. I colored it in, whatever. Sent it in. Obviously, I didn't win. Or maybe did I win? Who knows? And they debuted the jerseys and the new uniforms, and I got to listen because you couldn't watch the game when they played the 49ers, where Sapp basically destroyed Steve Young and Jerry Rice. I listened to that game, and my dad kind of taught me what I needed to know in between stuff, and I was just like, dude, I'm in love with this game. And then I got to watch the next game, which was an away game on TV, and I was just like, I was hooked. That was it. And then from that point forward, I've just been insane. Like I would just steal sports sections from neighbors. I would get as much sports radio.
Yeah, we got that. We said quick.
Oh, my bad.
Thank.
Stank.
Oh, I'm old. My parents had a business in the Tampa Bay Mall, which is where One Buck Place is currently located. But there used to be a mall there, and I used to have my own bed and slept in there, and I spent a lot of time in that mall. And my dad became friends with Doug Williams, and the rest is history. Doug gave us tickets to games. We used to go to games, and I got to watch a lot of really bad football, and got bullied as a kid unmercifully for liking the Bucs because they were the sucks back then. And I saw, I had a mullet, and I had
nice.
You just check my profile picture, you see I look like you know what, I can't even say what I look like in these times. I might get canceled, but that's how I became a Bucs fan.
Trev,
how'd you become a Panthers fan?
Moved to Charlotte last January, and got the Christian McCaffrey tattoo on January 2nd. So yeah, that's how it happened.
Nice.
Do we have any more? Are we done?
One more question. That's it.
Wait, I want to know the answer. Actually, I think I know the answer, but I want to know it. How'd you become a Bucs fan, Trevor?
Oh, I mean, it's not that great of a story. My dad and I, our relationship, we bonded through sports a lot. I initially started playing hockey, but I started getting into like all kinds of other sports. And yeah, no, I know. But like following football and different Tampa sports was just a way that my dad and I really bonded. And so it's just kind of, I've been into sports ever since. It's kind of how it started.
And then Jerry McCoy took you to the movies.
Yep.
That did happen. Yes.
I read that.
Yeah.
I read that article.
I read that article. It was an awesome article.
I could tell that on this podcast another time because it's a longer story and I want to get to the last call. But I can come back and tell that another time.
Last one, right?
Last caller.
But Carolina Panther, great. Gerald McCoy, of course.
Oh shit.
Y'all can have him. There's no room in our Ring of Honor. Sorry.
He's making the Ring of Honor. You know he is.
No, he's not.
You know he's going
in Carolina.
If he makes the Ring of Honor, I'm out.
He's making the Carolina Ring of Honor.
That's Sir Purr, bro.
All right. Did we save the best for last? I don't know. Sammer sent me these guys. I have no fucking idea.
Hey, it's Michelle. So this will be Friday. In 2 days, we take on the Denver Broncos. And what is a Bronco? It's a horse. And what does Devin White own? 15 horses, which means he is going to ride and own those Broncos the same way he does Dream and all of his other horses. I have a feeling this is going to be an awesome game. I think we're going to win it with no problem. I feel like this team is starting to come together. So let's fucking go, Bucs!
Hell yeah.
That was
Love you, Michelle.
That was
Thank
the
you,
best.
Michelle.
You saved the best for last.
Yeah.
That was the best call. Let's fucking go.
Absolutely. Trevor, this went a little bit longer than you wanted it probably, but this was fun. This was actually really, really fun.
It's just payback for him liking Wrench. Too
Yeah,
bad.
yeah,
No,
exactly. We're going to make you stay here for 4 hours, and then you can leave. That's what happened.
All right, that was part 1 of the 20-part series. We'll start part 2 right now.
Hey, Trevor, when are you going to get married to that lady who made a barbecue sundae?
Bro, that thing looks fucking incredible, by the way.
Well, she didn't make it.
Oh, you made it.
No, we ordered it from someone.
Oh.
She said leftovers, so I thought she made that out of leftovers.
No,
Yeah,
but I mean, like,
magic.
we're going to do that now. Anytime we have barbecue leftovers, but like barbecue, they get creative with barbecue up here in Charlotte. They really do.
You know what? You guys have inspired me. I'm going to make a Thanksgiving Sunday. I'm gonna do it.
Wow.
Yes.
Stuffing,
My favorite holiday. My favorite holiday. You know what? I'm inspired too. I'm going to open up a restaurant that only serves leftovers. That's it. Just leftovers. We're going to cook the night before when nobody's in, and then we're going to serve it the next day. Kind of microwaved and cold.
Trevor's trying to understand, like I'm following, but I don't know about that, bro.
This should fit right up your niche of food, you know, crappy bar food that you take John to. So this is perfect.
As long as there's no meat, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
Fucking vegans, man. Listen,
right, take us home, Sammer.
Trev, thank you for hanging out, bro. This was fun. The fans made it super fun, honestly. That shit at the end was really fun.
Make sure you guys fucking call.
Yeah, call next Friday. You guys have all
Give the number,
week to call
Sammer.
up.
Put the number out there. Number.
I don't
Hey,
remember.
I took a shit. Hold on. I'll play it for you right now. Hold on, guys.
No, don't play it. Stop. Listen.
All right.
Thank you for tuning in, guys. Thank you for subscribing, liking. Please follow Trevor. I know he's kind of a Carolina Panthers fan now.
Panther legend.
Yeah, follow him on Twitter. He's actually really, really smart, and sometimes he shares some good food takes. Just don't listen to that ranch nonsense. It's all kind of trash, whatever. But Trevor, thank you so much for hanging out, bro. We had
Of course,
a
dude.
blast.
No, I always love coming on with you guys, no matter how long the podcast goes. It's a blast. So I appreciate you guys having me on every time.
I don't like that. I don't like that half compliment there at the end, but yeah.
Half?
Yeah. Even though it goes really long.
No, I don't think I said even.
Hey,
I think I said
at least he showed up and didn't have eye surgery.
Hey, that was real. I saw it on his actual story. We'll tell you that. We'll tell you about that after the show, Trevor.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Go Bucs.
Go Bucs.
Go Bucs.
Go Bucs.
Go Carolina Panthers.